There's a forge that exists in a place most of us never visit. Not because it's hidden, but because we're too busy looking elsewhere, toward yesterday's regrets or tomorrow's uncertainties. This forge burns constantly, always ready, always waiting. It's the only forge where anything real is ever made. It exists in this moment, right now. The Stoics understood something we've forgotten in our age of endless distraction, that life isn't lived in the past or future. It's forged, hammer strike by hammer strike, in the present moment. And the quality of what we create depends entirely on whether we show up to do the work. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, arguably the most powerful man in the ancient world, wrote in his private journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Think about that. The man who commanded legions, who could order the construction of cities or the waging of wars, recognized the one truth that escapes most of us. We control almost nothing except our own thoughts and responses. We spend enormous energy trying to control the uncontrollable. We worry about the weather on our wedding day. We stress about what others think of us. We lie awake anxious about economic forces, political tides, the passage of time itself. We craft perfect emails and then obsess over how they'll be received. We try to manage other people's emotions and opinions as if they were ours to direct. And in doing so, we abandon the one territory we actually govern, our own mind, our own character, our own actions in this present moment. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control. It's simple, but not easy. Some things are up to us, our judgments, our impulses, our desires, our responses. Everything else, our reputation, our wealth, our health, other people's opinions, these are not truly ours to control. When you accept this, really accept it, something remarkable happens. The weight you've been carrying suddenly lifts, because you realize you've been trying to carry the entire world on your shoulders when you only need to carry yourself. There's a Latin phrase the Stoics used, Amor, Fati, love of fate. Not acceptance of fate, not tolerance of fate, love of it. This doesn't mean passive resignation. It means something far more radical, embracing what happens, not just the good but everything, as necessary, as fuel for your growth, as the exact conditions you need to become who you're meant to be. Imagine you're forging a blade. The iron doesn't complain about the heat. The steel doesn't resist the hammer. It's shaped precisely through resistance, through stress, through what seems like violence, but is actually transformation. You are that blade. Every obstacle you face, every setback, every moment of difficulty, these aren't interruptions to your life. They are your life. They're the heat and the hammer that forge your character. The question isn't whether these things will happen. The question is, will you let them shape you into something stronger? Or will you fight the very process that's trying to make you unbreakable? Epictetus, who began life as a slave, understood this deeply. He taught that we don't control what happens to us, but we always control what we make of it. The same heat that hardens the egg melts the butter. What matters isn't the heat, it's what you're made of, and what you choose to become. The Stoics practiced something that might seem morbid to modern ears. They contemplated death daily. Memento Mori. Remember that you will die. But this wasn't about morbidity. It was about clarity. When you remember that your time is finite, everything comes into focus. The trivial falls away. The petty grudges dissolve. The fear of embarrassment seems absurd. What remains is what actually matters. Connection, growth, contribution, living in alignment with your values. Steve Jobs said, Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life. He understood what the Stoics knew. Death is not the enemy of life. It's the clarifier of it. Every morning, you wake up with a finite number of heartbeats remaining. Unknown, but finite. You can spend them scrolling mindlessly, nurturing resentments, delaying what matters. Or you can spend them forging something real, a meaningful conversation, a moment of presence with someone you love, progress on work that matters, the cultivation of virtue in yourself. The clock is ticking, not to frighten you, but to wake you up. This moment right now is not a dress rehearsal. This is it. This is your one precious life happening in real time, and every moment you're not present for it is a moment you'll never get back. So what do we forge in this moment? What's worth creating with the raw material of now? The Stoics had a clear answer: virtue. Specifically, 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Wisdom, the ability to see clearly, to distinguish what matters from what doesn't, to know the difference between what's in your control and what isn't. Courage, not the absence of fear, but action in spite of it. The willingness to do what's right even when it's difficult, to speak truth even when silence is easier, to stand up even when everyone else sits down. Justice, treating others with fairness and kindness, recognizing our interdependence, contributing to something larger than ourselves. Temperance, moderation, self-control, the ability to enjoy without being enslaved, to want without being desperate, to have enough without needing excess. Here's what I want you to understand. The forge is always hot. Right now, in this moment, you have the opportunity to shape yourself. Not tomorrow when conditions are perfect. Not next week when you have more time. Not next year when things settle down. Now. The Stoics knew that philosophy wasn't about theory. It was about practice. It wasn't about what you know, but what you do with what you know. Daily practice, moment by moment choices. The accumulation of small acts of discipline and courage that, over time, forge an unshakable character. Marcus Aurelius would begin each day by reminding himself that he would encounter difficult people, frustrating situations, unfair circumstances. Not to be pessimistic, but to be prepared. To enter the day armored not with denial, but with acceptance and resolve. He knew the forge would be hot. He chose to show up anyway. So ask yourself, what are you forging right now? With your attention, your time, your responses, your choices. What are you creating? Are you forging anxiety by dwelling on what you can't control? Are you forging bitterness by rehearsing old grievances? Are you forging weakness by choosing comfort over growth? Or are you forging something stronger? Are you building resilience through challenge? Are you cultivating peace through acceptance? Are you creating meaning through purposeful action? Every single choice is a hammer strike. Every response to difficulty is heating the metal. Every practice of virtue is shaping the blade. You might not see the progress day to day, just as the blacksmith doesn't see the blade transform with a single strike. But strike after strike, day after day, something is being created. The future isn't some distant destination you'll arrive at someday. The future is forged now, in this moment, through the choices you make, the attention you give, the person you decide to be. You are the blacksmith. This moment is the forge, and the person you're becoming is the blade. So pick up the hammer. The work begins now.